The year is 1977. After the massive success of Star Wars, a sequel was inevitable. But in an era where most sequels were lazy remakes or rushed disappointments, many believed a follow-up to A New Hope shouldn't happen at all. Still, to no one's surprise, George Lucas began working on the next chapter. Even the skeptics couldn't help but feel a surge of excitement at the chance to see the Star Wars saga continue. Then, in 1979, the first real trailer dropped, and the hype was pretty real. But could the film live up to its legendary predecessor? Only time could tell. Today, we're putting The Empire Strikes Back to the movie scale by judging the film's characters, acting, plot, cinematography, soundtrack, personal impact, and a few extra categories to come up with one final score out of 10. With all that out of the way, let's dive right in. The characters in The Empire Strikes Back continue to be one of the best aspects of this entire trilogy. This film deserves major praise for introducing two more classic and charismatic additions. Lando, a likable yet morally conflicted character, and Yoda, one of the greatest characters in fiction, thanks to the way he completely subverts expectations. Initially appearing as a comedic, frog-like creature, only to reveal himself as the wisest Jedi Master in the galaxy. This idea that someone so outwardly feeble could be so powerful embodies the main theme of Star Wars. Anyone from anywhere can do anything. The character arcs in this movie are also bold and impactful. Luke's loss of his hand and the devastating reveal about his father take his story in a much darker direction. These serve as direct consequences from his flaws, foolishly running into matters without thinking it through. Han's fate, frozen in carbonite, furthers these consequences while adding real stakes and emotional weight to the story. These developments don't just move the plot, they help connect us further to the characters and make them feel more human and likable. The side plot featuring the evolving dynamic between Han and Leia is another highlight here. It shows real growth between the characters while staying true and expanding both of their personalities. And of course, the introduction of the bounty hunters on Cloud City bring even more style and edge to an already rich cast of characters. For the movie's iconic additions and emotional arcs that truly elevate every character, The Empire Strikes Back earns a perfect 10 out of 10 for characters.
No. It's not true. That's impossible!
Search your feelings. You know it to be true.
There's not a ton to critique when it comes to the acting in The Empire Strikes Back. Just like in A New Hope, the entire main trio and the broader ensemble are perfectly cast and fully embody their roles. Mark Hamill brings just the right mix of vulnerability and likability to make Luke Skywalker feel human and relatable, while Carrie Fisher and Harrison Ford have incredible chemistry and deliver every line with conviction. Newcomers like Frank Oz as Yoda and Billy D. Williams as Lando are also excellent additions, helping to expand the galaxy and deepen the cast. On top of that, the shift to director Irvin Kershner brings a noticeable tonal change, one that adds more nuance and emotional complexity to the characters and their dialogue, allowing the actors to shine. For all these reasons, this classic easily earns a 9 out of 10 for acting.
You will go to the Dagobah system.
Dagobah system.
There you will learn from Yoda, the Jedi Master who instructed me.
Man!
The plot of this movie succeeds just as much, if not more, than A New Hope, but in a completely different way. The simplicity and straightforwardness of A New Hope work perfectly as an introduction to such a complex universe. This film, however, doesn't try to expand the lore too much. Instead, it looks inward and focuses on the characters. The emotional depth added to the entire main cast, especially Luke, drives the story. His arc centers on temptation and the balance between light and dark, and it culminates with the greatest plot twist in cinema history, Darth Vader being Luke's father. The plot moves at a brisk pace, introducing new characters naturally while also pushing the heroes into darker, more vulnerable places. Luke loses his hand, Han is frozen in carbonite, and the rebels suffer major losses. Overall, the plot and everything that comes with it is a masterclass in storytelling and stands as a perfect example of the excellence that defines the original trilogy. It earns a 9 out of 10.
Alright, boys, keep tight now.
Luke, I have no approach vector. I'm not...
The cinematography in The Empire Strikes Back is masterful, just like its predecessor, but for very different reasons. While A New Hope shines with its iconic still shots and classic framing, Empire flips that approach on its head. With Irvin Kershner in the director's chair, the film gains a fresh visual energy. One of the biggest standouts is the use of color within the shots. The dim fog on Dagobah, the blinding snow on Hoth, and the moody red hue of Cloud City all give each setting a distinct personality. The final lightsaber duel is also a major step up, both visually and emotionally, framed with shadows, silhouettes, and dramatic lighting. In total, The Empire Strikes Back earns a well-deserved 10 out of 10. The mastery of The Empire Strikes Back soundtrack is pretty easy to see. Everything great about A New Hope's score returns, now accompanied by a few new tracks that are just as iconic. Luke's theme, Leia's theme, and the Force theme all come back in full, bringing emotional continuity to the second half of the trilogy. On top of that, new additions like Han and Leia's romance theme and Yoda's theme add depth to the arcs and characters introduced in this film. Let's address the elephant in the room, the track that propels this score to legendary status, the Imperial March. Arguably the most iconic piece of music in the entire Star Wars saga. It's introduced here and immediately leaves a lasting impact. In conclusion, the soundtrack of The Empire Strikes Back clearly deserves a 10 out of 10. This section is simply made to put a little bit of personal bias into the review. The Empire Strikes Back is undoubtedly an amazing film, and the movie has always been one of my favorites, but personally, I don't cherish it quite as much as A New Hope, which was the first Star Wars movie I ever saw. Therefore, this movie earns a 4 out of 5.
I look. Why wish you become Jedi?
Mostly because of my father, I guess.
Father? How for Jedi was he?
Next, let's begin with the extra categories. These highlight areas where the movie either exceptionally excels or noticeably fails. These vary with every film. Starting for this movie with VFX. Just like A New Hope, the visuals in this film were groundbreaking for their time and still hold up today. Puppet Yoda is incredibly lifelike and expressive. The AT-ATs on Hoth look massive and menacing, and Cloud City is visually stunning with its blend of models and paintings. The effects throughout continue to impress even by modern standards. This category earns a full 5 points.
For my ally is the Force, and a powerful ally it is. Life creates it, makes it grow. Its energy surrounds us and binds us.
The dialogue in this movie really deserves special praise from me. The explanation for this extra 5 out of points it earns is quick and simple. Timeless lines and great deliveries. Do or do not, there is no try. I am your father, and I love you, I know, are all classics, not just of this franchise, but of cinema in general. That, combined with the emotional depth the dialogue brings to the main characters, makes it clear why I included dialogue as a special category for this movie. After all these categories, my feelings on this movie should be pretty clear. The Empire Strikes Back is one of my favorite movies ever made. So, let's total up the final score and see just how this movie stacks up on the movie scale. The main categories scored in this video included characters, 10, acting, 9, plot, 9, cinematography, 10, soundtrack, 10, and personal impact/enjoyment, 5 out of 5. The extra categories scored in this video include VFX, 5 out of 5, and dialogue, 5 out of 5. Doing some simple math, we see the final score earned by the Star Wars Empire Strikes Back is 9.5 out of 10. For a classic film and one of the greatest sequels of all time, I think this is fully deserved. But do you agree with this score? What are your thoughts on Star Wars Episode 5? Share them below. Anyways, that's all for me. I will see you all later.